Hey, what's going on, guys? J-Mac here. So today we're going to run a Fire Pets build. Now this is a variation of a build that a lot of people were running prior to patch 2.0.5, where basically you would run Hexing Pants and a bunch of pets, and you would just continuously be moving around getting the buff from the Hexing Pants, the damage buff, and your pets would do the majority of the damage, if not all of your damage, as you ran around and buffed them with things like Star Metal Kukri, dropping Slam Dances, and Piranhas, and then just running around getting health globes, getting Harrington Waistguard procs, and things like that. So we're going to run a fire version of that build. It also got much better because of the buff to Tall Man's Finger. The Fire Gargantuan Dog is extremely good in this build. So let's go ahead and get into it. One other thing I want to go over before we start talking about the build is Fetish Army. When patch 2.0.5 first hit, it felt like Fetish Army was dying extremely easy in Torment 6, to a point where 4-piece Zuni just felt like it wasn't very good. Blizzard came out and said that there were certain ground effects from elites and champions and things like that that were dealing more damage than they were supposed to be. They were bugged. And since they fixed that, it feels like the fetishes aren't dying near as easy in Torment 6 as they were. Now they may have changed something else, internally that we don't know about potentially, but that more than likely just that fix helped quite a bit. Now in Torment 6, against really nasty elites and champions and certain rift bosses, your Fetish Army is still going to die. Now I don't have a Star Metal Kukri. If you have one, that pretty much takes care of that issue by itself. But this build will still work with about 25% cooldown reduction. Now you can get that by just running Tribal Rites if you want to, or run 25% on your gear. It's up to you. I have 25% a little bit over on my gear and Paragon points at the moment, so that's plenty for me right now. But you could just run this passive to take care of that if you'd like. I like to have about 25% from what I've tested. Is a pretty good spot to be at. If you want to have more than that, go for it. Because your fetishes on Torment 6 are not going to be dying all the time or anything like that, but they will die here and there. If you go up against an elite pack that has, say, like Arcane Beams and Frozen and some just a nasty combination, they are going to die, so it's good to have some. And it also helps because the entire build is really a lot of cooldowns, so it helps with everything having cooldown reduction. So Fetish Army Tiki Tortures are going to stack fire damage. Wrathful Protector Gargantuan is also fire. It's an elite and champion and boss killer. Big Bad Voodoo Slam Dance to buff our pets. Piranhas Paranado to crowd control. You can also run Frozen Piranhas here if you want a Piranha rune that's off of cooldown more often. Spirit Walk Jaunt. I like this because I don't have a lot of toughness, so you get 3 seconds, which is nice for survivability. Also gives you more mobility moving between packs and things like that. You could also run Umbral Shock for another nuke if you would like. Also, if you're running the version of this build with a Star Metal, you could potentially drop 4-piece Zuni completely, and then at that point it frees it up to run Illusory Boots, which means you could run Severance, where you would just kind of move through the enemies and deal damage to them with Severance as your pets are dealing damage for a little extra boost. So that's up to you. I like Jaunt at the moment, so figure out what you like out of that stuff though. Summon Zombie Dogs, Burning Dogs. We're running the Tall Man's Finger, so we've got a giant gargantuan burning dog. And we're going to be stacking Zombie Dogs damage in this build, because on Torment 6, like I said, if you don't have a Star Metal, your Fetish Army isn't quite as reliable as it is with the Star Metal, so I like stacking Zombie Dogs damage in this particular build. If you have the Star Metal Kukri, go ahead and stack Fetish Army damage if you would like. So I would say, honestly, that they're pretty close to being a toss-up a lot of the time. I just like the Burning Dog very rarely dies, and so it's just very reliable. You always have that damage going on. I wouldn't ever stack Gargantuan damage in the build, even with a lot of cooldown reduction. I've had people ask me that in my stream. Even if Gargantuan is up all the time, I wouldn't stack that damage, just because the AI is so bad on the Garg. Half the time he just stands there not attacking things. Now you can move around and stuff like that to try to kind of force him into attacking, but he'll get blocked sometimes, and sometimes he'll just stand there not doing anything. As far as the passives go, Pierce the Veil for more damage. I'm running Zombie Handler because my life was pretty low. You could very easily run Fierce Loyalty here. Or if you're getting the cooldown from your passive, this is the spot where you would run Tribal Rites, like I said. But I'm running Zombie Handler just to buff the Gargantuan Dog more and get a little bit more life out of it. It's mainly the life is for my own character, not the pets. Grave Injustice for cooldown reduction, and then Midnight Feast just to buff the Gargantuan Dog more and our Garg here, the Raffle Protector as well. As far as gear goes, we're going to run a Burning Axe since I don't have a Star Metal. Now obviously Star Metal is best in slot for this build, but Burning Axe is pretty good. Sunkeeper is not bad either. I've tested both quite a bit. I already kill elites and champions very quickly, and the Burning Axe kind of speeds up the trash a little bit more with the setup that I have at the moment. If I had a better Sunkeeper than I do with higher weapon damage, I would very much consider running it in the build though. We're going to run 4-piece Zuni, so we've got Zuni Boots, Zuni String, and Zuni Chest, along with the Ring of Royal Grandeur to get the 4-piece bonus. We're also going to run Ogild's 2-piece, Shoulders, and Bracers, and then we get the 3-piece bonus with the ring there. The Hexing Pants, like I talked about, you get a really large damage boost out of just moving around constantly. You want to always be moving in this build. The Tall Man's Finger, get the Giant Gargantuan Fire Dog. We're going to run the pet items, Mask of Jirim with pet damage, and Tasker and Theos with attack speed to your pets. Let's see, did I go to the Harrington Waistguard? The Harrington Waistguard, the most of the time you're going to see me just walking around looking for things to proc the Harrington. Then Golden Gorget of Leoric. Preferably you want this to be fire damage, intelligence, crit damage, crit chance. You want to stack as much fire as possible. Currently I only have fire on the weapon and the bracers, but I'd like to have fire there also. If you don't have Taskers, which Taskers are rare, you could still run this build with Mage Fists. They're a pretty decent alternative to the build, but Taskers are much, much better if you have them. That's pretty much it. As far as Paragon goes, get as much movement speed as you need in core, then go intelligence, offense, get to the 50% crit chance cap for pets, then probably go crit damage, then cooldown reduction. Again, like I said, I like to have about 25% cooldown reduction in the build, so if you need to get more, if you're not running Tribal Rights passive, you know, just kind of play around with that. Defense, life percentage, armor percentage, all resist. And then utility is honestly just kind of a wash in this build. You're not going to get a heck of a lot out of any of the utility slots. Honestly, I would probably recommend just going Gold Find, really. I mean, the other ones really aren't too good. You don't use a lot of mana, and life on hit and area damage both are not going to proc very often in this build. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. I'm just going to go kill a couple bosses just to showcase the build. Go kill Asmodan. Most of the time here in Core of Ariat, there's a couple elites and champions to kill and things like that. So we'll get our dog out and our fetishes. And again, you just want to make sure that you're always moving. You know, just stopping to cast a Slam Dance or a Gargantuan or Paranadoing everything up. So we'll get a proc here. Got a Goblin. Definitely want to make sure you stay out of the way of those these furnaces. They will kill you on T6 if you're not careful. Kind of just like move around in a circle a little bit, like a whirlwind barb or something. So we got a pack here. I'm going to save the Slam Dance for the boss, just to show how fast the build will kill the boss. We don't really need it for this pack anyways. Another pack here. We can get Gargantuan out. So I mean, those packs right there are even without Slam Dance. That's how fast the build kills elites. It's pretty crazy. But if you have a Star Medal, man, you're gonna have Slam Dance up the entire time pretty much, and you'll just be absolutely rocking everything. So again, drop Slam Dance here, put Piranhas down, make sure we have all of our fetishes out. We don't have Gargantuan up for this, but that's okay. Really just a piece of cake. I'm going to go to kill Gom also real quick. There's normally a couple of elites and champions there to fight as well. Yeah, Yeah, I was hesitant to make this video without the star medal. I really wanted to wait till I got one, but it just doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. So I figured it was about time I made this. Yeah, we were messing around with this on the first day of patch 2.0.5. And at the time I didn't even have hexing pants, but it still worked pretty well in Torment 6, so I figured now that I have the hexing pants I might as well make the video. The biggest thing is you don't have any good ways to open doors. It's kind of goofy, but a lot of times, like if I don't have piranhas up, sometimes I just have to sit there and wait for piranhas to come off a cooldown to open a door like that. Hey, got some gloves. Jade gloves. Sweet. See, like this right here? Like I just don't have any way to open this door until I have piranhas up. That's why it's maybe a good reason to run the Severance or the Umbral Shock on your Spirit Walk for things like that. I'm hoping that sometime soon we do get a fetish counter. That way we can kind of see exactly, because like at the moment I'm not positive how many of my fetishes are dead. I think one's dead, maybe. Maybe they're all alive, actually. But it would be nice to have the fetish counter to know for sure. I'm going to go ahead and recast them just to be on the safe side here. Frozen and the Jailer are by far your worst enemies. Frozen will freeze all of your pets, and if you don't dodge it, obviously you're going to get frozen. That's a little bit easier to dodge, though. But then also, Jailer is really bad for you because you're stuck in place, which means that you're actually getting less damage out of Hexing Pants than you were. Those are your two biggest issues. Or you're actually getting a debuff out of Hexing Pants, I should say. I should put it that way. So super fast GOM kills. Pretty much a piece of cake, man. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you like the build. Again, if you have a star medal, you should be able to absolutely rock Torment 6. You should be able to do like 8-minute Torment 6 solo riffs with a star medal. And at that point, what you can do is you can just completely drop Zuni if you want to, and just rely on the star medal reducing the cooldown of Fetish Army for you. And I would probably do something like run Illusory Boots here. I'd run a Eucopian Serpent here, which means you basically have like your own double unity follower token set up with the dog and the Eucopian Serpent, which makes Torment 6 extremely easy because you're super tanky at that point. And then you'd be able to run a Stone of Jordan here, and then more than likely what I would do is I would just run the third piece of Augilds. I'd run the chest to get the 3-piece bonus. So you'd run the 3-piece here, Illusory Boots, and the Eucopian Stone of Jordan. And elites and champions and bosses would just get absolutely rocked with that Stone of Jordan in the build. So anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.